Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We invite you to watch the English Chinese news on Central Television channel of Brunei Province. On April 11, as part of his ongoing visit to the United States, Deputy Prime Minister Hodefer held productive meetings with U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent and Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick. The two sides have officially agreed to negotiate the content of tariffs, the most important pillar of bilateral trade agreement. This is the biggest breakthrough during recent days of tense negotiations that Vietnamese special working groups have achieved with the U.S. government because previously the content of signing the bilateral trade agreement that our side had repeatedly raised but the U.S. had not agreed. Thus, Deputy Prime Minister Hodefer has opened the steel door and safely completed the tasks and goals that leaders of the party and state and government have assigned to the special working group. At the coming time, the government will consider establishing a ministerial level technical negotiation group to concretize the result that special working group has achieved in recent days. On April 11, the Board of Directors of the Social Policy Bank of Trang District organized an assessment of activities in the first quarter and deployed directions and tasks for the second quarter of 2025. As of March 31st, the local purchase capital entrusted to District Social Policy Bank for lending to poor households and policy beneficiaries reached nearly 74 billion dong, an increase of 11.7% compared to the beginning of the year. The total outstanding loans to date have reached over 554 billion dong, with over 12,200 customers with outstanding loans, completing 99% of the plan. In the second quarter of 2025, the Board of Directors of District Social Policy Bank will focus on reviewing the subjects and loan needs to serve as a basis for lending, timely disbursement, ensuring the right subjects and regulations, and at the same time, effectively handling debt, urging the collection of due debts, overdue debts, and debts of customers who have left their place of residence, strengthening the propaganda work on policy credit. Currently, the Brunei province has nearly 3,000 grassroots unions with nearly 700,000 union members, achieving a coverage rate of over 95%. In 2025, the Brunei Labour Confederation has been tasked with enrolling 6,000 new union members, according to the Brunei Provincial Federation of Labour. In the first quarter of 2025, the province established 12 new grassroots unions and recruited over 3,500 union members. Most of grassroots unions were established in enterprises with 20 or more employees. During the Workers' Month, unions at all levels will organize a peak period for developing union members, establishing grassroots unions, introducing and developing party members among workers. The target is for at least 55% of enterprise-level unions and 45% of public sector unions to carry out activities and respond to Workers' Month, ensuring all efforts are practical and effective. According to a report by the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment, the export value of wood and wood products in March 2025 is estimated at 1.5 billion US dollar, bringing the total export value of wood and wood products in the first quarter of the year to 3.95 billion US dollar, up 11.6% over the same period in 2024. The U.S. is the largest consumer market for wood and wood products in Vietnam, accounting for 53.1% of the market share. Japan and China is the next two largest markets with market shares of 13.2% and 10.6% respectively. Compared to the same period last year, the export value of wood and wood products in the first 2 months of 2025 to U.S. market increased by 9.5%. The Japanese market increased by 21%, and Chinese market decreased by 15.2%. Among the 15 largest export markets, the export value of wood and wood products increased the most in the Indian market, with an increase of 95.9%, and decreased the most in the Dutch market, with a decrease of 45.1%. On the morning of April 11th, at Binhua Airport in the Damai province, thousands of officers and soldiers from the armed forces participated in a joint parade rehearsal in preparation for 50th anniversary celebration of Southern Liberation and National Reunification. From early morning, the Ministry of National Defense and the Ministry of Public Security jointly directed inspection and joint training of armed forces participating in the parade and marching in preparation for the celebration. The comprehensive training contest consists of two parts: the ritual and ceremony parts of the parade and state, undertaken by the Ministry of National Defense, and parade and marching parts of the armed forces. In addition to parade blocks, there are also 13 standing blocks belonging to the forces: Army, Militia, Self-Defense Force, and Police. This is the first comprehensive parade training session of the blocks and forces after a period of individual training at units in many localities across the country. Lieutenant Colonel Phạm Đại Đồng, Deputy Head of Training and Professional Guidance Department of Mobile Police Command, Permanent Deputy Commander of Parade and March Command, Ministry of Public Security, said. To carry out the A50 task of participating in the parade, the People's Public Security Forces participated in 18 blocks. Prepared relatively well for this work, participated in the first comprehensive training session, and participating forces with heroic spirit, demonstrating the strength at celebration ceremony. The rehearsal began with B-8 and Mi-17 helicopters flying party and national flags over the ceremonial stage, followed by Yak-130 and Su-30 Mk2 fighter jets performing formation and flyover displays. After opening segment, 42 parade formation marched to pre-arranged music. Lieutenant General Tai Phương Minh, Director, School Training Department, General Staff of Vietnam People's Army, Deputy Head of Parade and Marching Subcommittee at the Ministry of National Defense, said. Today is the first comprehensive training session for the entire force. All comrades participating have made great efforts and high determination for the important mission of the country. The Army, the police, and the forces participating in this session. The first session of the movement of the blocks performed well, drawing experience to perfect more, with high responsibility to excellently complete the mission. It is expected that comprehensive training session on the Young Street in Ho Chi Minh City will be held on April 18th and April 22nd. Preliminary and final rehearsals are overseen by General Staff. The national level parade will officially take place at 6:30 a.m. on April 30th in Ho Chi Minh City with more than 13,000 participants.